First, let's bring you some breaking news, and it comes from Manchester United, who have reached an agreement in principle with over a new 5-year contract. A deal until 2028 is in the final stages of negotiation and set to be signed by the England international, who rejected more lucrative offers from England and abroad to stay at Manchester United. The new contract is close.
I still think it's fraught with lots of questions that need to be asked and answered about the position of someone that becomes in moments of adversity. We've seen no moments of adversity for Carrick, really. He's done the job, so it makes it a conundrum. And, you know, we talked about it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We talked about a bunch of callers coming in that were saying, thank you very much, we've done a great job, but we don't think you're there for the future. So most of the callers that came in on the back of me saying, listen, he's done a lot to put in the equation.
Yeah.
And a lot of those decisions that he's made are very sensible decisions. Steve Holland being brought in shows you that he's thinking about the shortcomings that he may have with an experienced hand alongside him. That's good thinking. I still think it's a massive job to take on for somebody that hasn't got the credentials. And Carrick's only got credentials because he's won 16 or 15 games or however many games he's won at Man United. And some people say that's all the credentials that you need. You will judge Michael Carrick when it comes on top, not when the Man United fan base and the Man United hierarchy are grateful for getting you out of the cart that a previous manager put you in. And everyone's so grateful that he's not here anymore. So when it becomes that Michael Carrick is no longer saving the day from somebody that made such a holics of it, and Michael Carrick is now being given £200 million to spend, and Michael Carrick has been tasked with making Man United a championship-winning side again in quick order, then you, and only then. Now that's a difficult scenario because you can't, it's like saying practicing for penalties on a training ground does not prepare you for taking a penalty in a penalty shoot and you're in the Champions League final. You can't prepare for that eventuality. You can only get your best indications. And the best indications are that over this period of time, Michael Carrick has done a solid, sensible job. And you've got to try as best as you can. I know it almost seems ridiculous to suggest that you create an environment where you see Carrick amongst adversity and you see him how he reacts when it comes on top. And can they do that? Have they seen enough from him? Only they know what Carrick is like behind the scenes, what they think of him, what he looks like he's going to provide for the future. In the here and now, he makes himself a credible person to be speaking to because he is presiding over Man United and presiding over them, and they're beating the best teams in the league. They're beating all of the teams that you would accept and expect Man United to try and eclipse in the future in their pursuit of being the elite club.
But what would his remit be next season?
Well, again, that becomes Man United's brief. If you're Manchester United, if you're setting him a brief to be inside the top 6, then okay, that may be something he can achieve.
Well, the brief would have to be to do better than where they finished this season. Or to
stabilise, not necessarily.
Well, to progress your points tally.
To stabilise.
Yeah, no, to improve.
Yeah, well, not necessarily.
Improve in third.
No, in an ideal world, but in a commercial world, if you're sitting there going, right, the optics to the world outside is that we always want to get better. We want to win a league. We're Man United. But internally, you could be suggesting in the same way that it must have been acceptance that Arteta was getting incrementally better, that he can get incrementally better, stabilising them back inside the Champions League spot, first and foremost, because that's a revenue stream opportunity.
Yeah.
There and afterwards, we're back into the groove of being accepted as being a top 4 side again, with all of the opportunities for the future. Now we want to see someone that can win the league. Is that Carrick?
Paul Scholes says that Michael Carrick is the best candidate for the job. Would you agree?
Yeah, listen, if he's available, then yeah. I mean, the job he's done, you'd have to say, is I just said it there, it's been remarkable. I think if you look at his time before that at Middlesbrough, you wouldn't say that he would have been on Manchester United's radar. I think the fact that you almost get fast-tracked when you've played for the club into that position because you know the club, bring that feel-good factor back, I understand that. But, I mean, I would have... For Michael Carrick, I understand why there's a bit of a rush because you're thinking, I've done really well, you have to strike while the iron's hot. But I would just wonder if Manchester United are thinking, do you know what, let's wait to the end of the season because I think there potentially could be availabilities. Now look at Luis Enrique, depending on what happens with the Champions League final, which obviously I hope goes the other way. I hope Arsenal win it. But say PSG do win, they're heavy favourites, and he's won 2 in a row. What more can he do? So he's got 1 year left on his contract. He might become available. Now, Luis Enrique and Manchester United, massive manager, massive football club. I think there's a fair few. I think Didier Deschamps is another one. I think after this World Cup, that's him. Done.
See, I would agree with you about Luis Enrique. Look, Manchester United, arguably the biggest club in the country, undoubtedly one of the biggest clubs in the world, one of the most recognisable institutions in world football. Luis Enrique, I think you do rip up anything. You do anything. You go hell for leather to get Luis Enrique in the job. And I think that Manchester United would suddenly be back to being a behemoth.
Yeah.
But Luis Enrique aside, which, let's face it, is unlikely, he's best manager in the world. Luis Enrique aside, I think Michael Carrick's the right appointment.
So I've got a list here, right? Ancelotti, Brazil, you never know what's going to happen if he becomes available.
Do you not think that this is a little bit unfair on Michael Carrick?
Oh no, listen, but unfortunately that's football. Like, don't get me wrong, what he's done at Manchester United is brilliant, getting them back to the Champions League. But if Carlo Ancelotti becomes available because Brazil no longer required, you can't tell me he's not a better option. You talk about one of the best on the planet.
Okay, let's explore it though. You could say that Ancelotti's record, serial European Cup winner, won the double at Chelsea, amazing manager Ancelotti, and will go down as one of the greatest, no doubt. But is he a better manager for Manchester United now, working in the framework, Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada? Is that what Manchester United need now? Or do they need somebody that knows the club, is already steering the ship in the right direction? Like, since he took the job, nobody in the Premier League has accrued more points. No club since Carrick came in has got more points than Manchester United.
Yeah. No, listen, he's done a phenomenal job. But I'm looking... Listen, he probably in his wildest dreams couldn't have imagined it would have gone this well. But if Ancelotti and Enrique are there, it takes a brave man to go, do you know what? No, we'll leave Ancelotti over there on the sidelines. Michael Carrick's our man going forward. Now, I think if you bring in a manager like Ancelotti, yes, of course, there have to be certain dispensations. You have to change certain models because he's that good. But I just think for Manchester United, Michael Carrick wants the job. I don't think there's any harm in waiting. I really don't.
The debate surrounding the future of Manchester United has taken another dramatic turn after football personalities Rory Jennings and Darren Bent exchanged strong opinions over whether Michael Carrick is truly the right man to lead the Red Devils into a new era. Speaking during a heated football debate, Rory Jennings boldly declared that Carrick could be exactly what Manchester United need at this stage of their rebuild. According to Jennings, the former United midfielder understands the culture, pressure, expectations, and identity of the club better than most modern managers linked with the job. Jennings argued that after years of instability, expensive managerial experiments, and disappointing seasons since the legendary reign of Alex Ferguson ended, perhaps it is time for the club to trust someone who truly understands what Manchester United represents. Carrick knows the club inside out, Jennings explained. He understands the dressing room, the fans, and the expectations. Sometimes football clubs need identity more than glamour. However, Darren Bent was not completely convinced. The former striker insisted that Manchester United should not rush into another emotional appointment simply because Carrick is a club legend. Bent suggested there are still several elite managers available globally who possess more experience at the highest managerial level. There's no harm in waiting, Bent argued. Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in world football. You have to make sure you get the best possible manager available. Bent's comments reflect concerns shared by many supporters who believe sentiment alone cannot restore Manchester United back to dominance in English and European football. While Carrick has impressed many during his managerial journey, critics question whether he has enough experience to handle the enormous pressure that comes with managing the 20-time English champions. Still, Carrick's supporters believe his calm personality, tactical understanding, and connection to the club could help rebuild unity within the squad. His previous coaching role at Manchester United also gave him direct experience working during difficult periods at Old Trafford. Fans remain divided across social media. Some believe Carrick represents a fresh footballing identity built on patience and understanding of the club's traditions. Others insist the club must pursue a more proven, world-class tactical manager capable of immediately competing with rivals like Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. One thing is certain, the managerial decision could define Manchester United's next decade. After years of disappointment, fans are desperate for stability, trophies, and a return to football's elite level. Whether Michael Carrick becomes the man to lead that revolution or not, the debate itself proves just how important this next appointment truly is for one of football's greatest institutions.